Ladies and gentlemen, it is so good to see you, even though I can't see you, but you can see me. That's kind of how podcasting works. And actually, it's not how you can hear me if you're listening to it. Anyway, enough of this, this and that. We are here to break the monotony of your terrible imprisonment at home. This is the Alex and Mark Show. I am Alex Metajan, and that is Professor Mark McIntyre. Today,
howdy.
We have decided to not talk about the doom and gloom of the coronavirus because everyone is sick and tired.
We're going to talk about the silver lining. This plague from God has provided everybody on the planet with all kinds of silver linings. But Don't look upon this as the doom and gloom. This is not a bad thing.
No.
There are lots of silver linings in this.
Downward spiraling economy. You can worry about that later. But for now, give us money.
Right.
This isn't, the economy is, not looking too bright. So that's why we need your donations more than ever. We'd appreciate monthly. Right. But you can also do PayPal. We'd also greatly appreciate that. And if you're just too worried and you want to, protect your beautiful stock portfolio, please like, subscribe, share, and comment with your thoughts, comments, or concerns and anecdotes. We'd love to hear your little stories about coronavirus stuff.
Yeah, and how it's affecting you too. Yeah.
Anyway,
let's start off with the silver lining. Number one, at the top of my list, that this is really not, it's a horrible thing for people who are dead and dying and all that business. But there actually is a great list, a long list of silver linings for this plague. This, I think, is the 11th plague, biblical plague that humans have experienced. Last time I counted in the Bible, there were only 10, but now there is 11. But let's start with the climate, the climate screwballs. They're delighted. In fact, they're even believing in God. They're believing in the biblical God now. Because why? Because now all the travel is shut down. All the fossil fuel engines are now shut off. There's no airplanes in the sky. There's no cars. I tried to drive down to. I drove to Santa Barbara today. There wasn't a car in sight. It was like a ghost town. It was like 1950s sci-fi movie. So here you have the climate screwballs now believing in God and thanking God for sending this horrible plague so that the carbon footprint.
Well, why do you think that they're renaming the coronavirus the boomer remover?
No, I'm calling it the condonavirus. They're condoning the virus because it's a condonavirus.
Boomers are largely responsible for the large amount of fossil fuels that we've enacted. Right. So God is exacting his revenge by removing, it's the boomer remover.
Yeah. And you as a student, you must be learning now. You don't really need your professors. You never needed your professors at all.
Who knew? I can just use the internet to learn stuff. I just earlier today, I actually I was supposed to go in for an interview, but due to the virus, I just had a Skype in interview. I didn't even need to change my pants. I just put on a suit on the top.
You didn't even have to have pants. You can't have no pants.
I don't. Okay. I'm not that dangerous. I had a job interview here. I didn't even have to, shake the person's hand. Telecommuting is for a service industry like ours, it is the future. For not in my boat, but many families, they have to. What? Well, they're now many families, due to the coronavirus, are now forced to do the unbearable torture of having to spend time together.
Yes.
So, and parents.
That's why you're not going home. That's why you're staying in Washington D.C.
Yeah. And parents have the how shall I say kids are now have the horrific realization that they're not going to be taught how to perform sexual acts before they've hit puberty. Instead, they'll be taught by their parents on things like reading, writing, and arithmetic, and how to conduct themselves properly in society, and to hold fast to good traditional values and all that filthy conservative stuff.
And the top of my list, well, it's actually the second one on my list, is that the very same people who 2 months ago wanted to impeach Donald Trump because they thought he was a dictator, now they're begging him to be a dictator because an invisible microbe is preventing them from getting toilet paper and wiping their ass. It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. Now they want him to be a dictator. It's amazing.
I never thought that there could be anything in the news that would distract us from the the presidential election.
Right.
But you know what? I actually make it. This might actually happen. There's supposedly going to be another primary election tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday, March 16th. Tuesday, there's going to be another election.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. There's going to be another election. And since this targets older people are less likely to go to the polls. Now, which person has a base of support that's older? Joe Biden. Who's ahead? Joe Biden. Who's staying in to hope to catch up? The guy that's relying on the young vote, the people that don't care.
They don't care, right?
This is going to be a very interesting election.
No, there are
I don't know.
many gold. Go ahead. There are many silver linings to this cloud. What's next? I mean, locusts are on their way.
Well,
masses of locusts in the Sudan. Giant frogs. Going to relive the giant frogs.
We're finally, like, Italians are finally learning to stop touching each other. They're finally learning. Italians, like, that's another.
Especially in the genital area. Especially in the genital area, they have to stop that.
I haven't had as many experiences with Italian pasta as you have.
Well, I have. I was in Italy for a while. You got to watch yourself there, man.
Okay.
And they don't wash their hands. Now they're learning how to wash hands for the first time. They don't wash their hands. They don't wash their hands. No matter what they're touching. Salami, zucchini.
Another
salami,
finding
zucchini.
is we're learning. Gee whiz! I guess open borders is not a great idea, and we're also learning.
Oh, right.
Universal health care isn't a great idea either. I mean, it's healthcare is nice if you want to go for a universal health care. You don't mind paying high taxes. You don't mind going to a checkup or a broken arm. But when you have a pandemic and there's a limit to how much your system can handle, it breaks down. There's only the thing about the government-controlled healthcare system is that there are institutional limits set by bureaucrats that cannot be expanded. The private industry, yes, it's more expensive and the cost is on us, but there are effectively no limits. I mean, one thing that is happening, Vice President Pence announced that the Corona test will be free, and by free he really means just paid for by the government. Right. We're also going to get a big education in economics, and we're going to learn. Turns out you cannot keep giving low interest loans till the end of eternity. You cannot keep spending when you're already in debt during good times, because when bad times roll around, you're going to get smacked around with fiscal responsibility.
And not only that, but the crash of the stock market was really good news, because you can buy low and sell high later on. So now the the small investor can get into the market now for pennies. This is a great thing. This coronavirus, whoever thought of this coronavirus thing, it's just a genius. And probably God to teach people, to slap them around. I mean 2 months ago, the same people that were trying to say open borders, now they're demanding the nation states of the world.
Why doesn't he
close all the borders?
Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are both suggesting that they will use the military. Yeah. They will use the military to crack down on I mean, that's real scary stuff. That's really scary. I mean, but that's kind of the silver lining is they're not getting elected, and we're going to keep it that way. I mean, if
I want to close with this famous quote: "Whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad."
That's true. Biden is losing his marbles. Anyway,
they're both losing their marbles. They're both great. Anyway, stay inside, shelter in place. Have Mitt Romney write you a check for $1,000. That's what he promised to do. I mean, this is the greatest thing that's happened in my lifetime is the coronavirus. It's terrific.
You've had a terrible life.